What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Subaru Forester Wilderness. Huge thank you to Josh Brown over at Stohlman Subaru of Sterling, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Forester Wilderness or any Subaru product, I'll be sure to have Josh's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It is a beautiful day out. The sun is shining, we got blue skies, and it's actually a pretty decent temperature considering it is early December, so can't really ask for much more than that. But just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So, like I said, this is a 2024 Subaru Forester Wilderness, and this particular one has been painted in magnetite gray metallic. I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2024, there are no real changes to the Forester model. However, the reason being is that there is a redesign coming to the Forester for the 2025 model year. The only real change I noticed from 2023 to 2024 with the Forester is that there is no more CD player on the interior. 2023 was the last year of the CD player on the Forester. But as standard with the Wilderness, you get LED steering responsive headlights with high beam assist, as well as LED daytime running lights, standard turn signals, and LED hexagonal fog lights. Now, taking a step back and to the left, this is what the front end of the Forester Wilderness looks like. It's been around for a few years now, so if you are familiar with the Forester, you know this style. But I wanted to mention, with the Wilderness here on the hood, you get this satin black hood graphic, and this is kind of like the theme with the Wilderness trim levels. Doesn't matter if you get an Outback, you get a Crosstrek, you get a Wilderness, they all get this satin black hood graphic. But if you are not a fan of the satin black hood graphic, you can get a heat gun from Advanced Auto or something like that. You can put a little bit of heat to this, and you can peel this piece off if you are not a fan of it and you'd rather just have, you know, that body color hood without this here in the middle. I always like to point that out if you're not a fan of that. But coming down just a little bit, you get a satin black front grille with your Subaru logo located at the center of the grille, and then just beneath your Subaru logo is where you will find your front 180-degree view camera system, which I'll show you a little overlay of what that looks like on the interior. And then coming down just a little bit more, you get this satin black front bumper with the integrated tow hook point on the passenger side of the bumper. So you can pop this little piece off, and then you have a tow hook on the trunk area, and you would screw that in. Let's say you get stuck in a snowbank or something like that. So that makes it a little bit easier, you know, to get dragged out of mud, snow, stuff like that, rather than having to hook a chain to the frame or something like that. So that's a nice little, you know, feature that you do get with the Wilderness trim level. And then also coming down a little bit more, it doesn't matter which color of the Wilderness you get, you will always get this silver front chin. And then coming down just a little bit more, also specific to the Wilderness, is this front aluminum skid plate, and that is what it looks like down in there. You can take a listen to it. That piece is aluminum, and that kind of about does it for what we got going on here at the front. I'll give you a little front 100, or excuse me, front 3/4 angle here. That is what she looks like from the side. I also wanted to mention, with the Wilderness, you get additional ground clearance for a total of 9.2 inches of ground clearance. Coming down the side, like I said, you get that satin black front bumper, and that satin black front bumper leads into your satin black wheel arch moldings. Coming down just a little bit, like I mentioned, you do get additional ground clearance with the Wilderness trim level, so you do get a independent raised suspension. And by the way, the suspension is off-road tuned. And then this one's been optioned with the $187 splash guards, which can be found behind all 4 of your wheels and tires. Speaking of your wheels and tires, the Wilderness gets a specific wheel. So with the Wilderness, you get these 17-inch matte black wheels that are wrapped in 225/60 Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain tires. Here's a view of the wheel face as well as the sidewall of the tire. And then here is a view of the tread pattern on that tire. Pretty aggressive considering that this is an SUV and not a truck. I think that is pretty cool. And then coming up just a little bit with the Wilderness, you also do get a windshield wiper de-icer system. Coming on down the side, you get these satin black hexagonal texture side mirrors with integrated turn signals. And as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding, and you will find your blind spot monitoring on the inside of your side view mirror, about right there, and then about right there on your passenger side view mirror. However, this vehicle has been optioned with the $695 exterior and interior auto dimming mirror package, which gives you the auto dimming exterior mirrors with the approach light. So if somebody's coming behind you at night with their high beams on, the mirrors will detect the high beams and both side view mirrors will auto dim. So that's a nice package that if you don't buy this specific model, that's a nice package you might want to look into getting, because you also get the auto dimming rear view mirror on the interior with that as well. It comes with a home link and a compass. Now here is a little side profile shot of the Wilderness here on the side. So starting from the top, the Wilderness gets these black raised ladder type roof rails with an 800-pound static load capacity. So essentially what you could do with these roof rails is you could put a rooftop tent on top of them, as long as the tent and cargo and you weigh less than 800 pounds. You can set a rooftop tent on top of here. And then again, the theme of the Wilderness are these copper colored accents. You can see you get the copper color accenting up top there, and then coming back just a little bit more, you get the satin black window trim. You also get the Subaru Wilderness badging on your front two doors only. You also get body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind, the keyless access function is only on your front two door handles. The rear two door handles do not get that keyless access function. And then following form from the front, coming down here on the side, you get this satin black door cladding with that copper Forester lettering on your rear two doors only. I'll give you a closer view of what that looks like here at the back. That is that. Now I'll give you a little rear 3/4 shot of the Forester Wilderness. That's what she looks like here from the back. And then starting up top here, you do get a gloss black shark fin antenna. You also get a body color roof spoiler back here with your integrated third brake light in that roof spoiler. One thing I also noticed with the Forester Wilderness is that you do get this satin black trim that surrounds the entire rear glass piece. I think I mentioned this, I'm going to mention it again if I did. You get a rear window defroster, you get a single speed rear wiper. This is the taillight design of the Forester in general. And then coming around back at the center of that satin black trim, you have your Subaru logo, and then just beneath that is where you will find your backup camera. This particular vehicle has been optioned with the $1,850 option package 22, which gives you the power liftgate. And by the way, the power liftgate does have a height adjustment, so you can set the height of which you want the power liftgate to open up. But all you got to do is press on this little pad right here with the key fob in your pocket, or if the vehicle is unlocked, and the power liftgate will begin to open. It basically reveals your cargo cover back here. And then on the driver's side of the trunk, you get a 12-volt power outlet followed by 2 grocery bag hooks. And then if you pull on this, that will drop your second row seats, so you get a little bit of fold flat storage space. You get another 2 grocery bag hooks here on the passenger side, and then this button does the same to these 2 seats as well. So this is a 60-40 split. 60% of the second row seats are on the passenger side, and the 40% is on the driver's side. Like I mentioned, or I don't know if I mentioned this, but this vehicle's been optioned with the option package 22, and with option package 22 you get the Harman Kardon sound system as well. So that is your speaker here at the back end with that sound system. A couple other options that we have back here is the $162 rear seat back protector, which is basically a floor mat for the backs of your second row seats. So let's say you have a dog, you take your dog on a walk, your dog ends up jumping in some murky water like what we got here, and then you put him back into your trunk, and instead of your dog rubbing up against the seat back and making the seat back all moldy, that is why you have the rear seat back protector. So it is actually useful for those of you who have dogs that like to jump in some disgusting water like we have there. With the Wilderness, you do get the all-weather floor mats as standard, and they do have the Wilderness badging on them. That is what this piece is right here, but I'm not going to open them up because I'm going to let the owner do that. And then you also do get this cargo tray here with the Wilderness as well. Lifting up on this, you get a little bit of storage space in here. You can set some miscellaneous items, but if you keep digging, that's where you'll find your tow hook, your jack, your spare tire. By the way, this is a full-size spare tire, so that is definitely useful. And again, you can set or insert that tow hook into the front bumper like I pointed out earlier in the video. You get the full flat second row seats, so you get an additional 3.5–4 feet of storage space there. And then here on your trunk, you get this LED light, so you can see, you basically get a cargo light that will light up what we got going on down here at night. And you can either set it to door or you can set it to off. And then on your lift gate up top here, you have your lock button, and then you also have your power lift gate button. So if you wanted the vehicle to lock, you'd press that lock button, and then clicking on that button right there, the power lift gate will begin to drop. You get 2 beeps and the lift gate will begin to drop. With the Wilderness, you get the satin black badging here on your lift gate, and then you also get that badge, Subaru Wilderness badge, on the lower right hand side of the lift gate. And then coming down, let's finish things off here at the rear end. You get a satin black rear valance with a body color rear bumper. Integrated into that rear valance, you get 4 integrated parking sensors. I'll try to point those out to you now. You also get 2 reflectors on the outsides of the rear bumper. And then you get a single exit stainless steel exhaust on the passenger side. And then 2 other things I wanted to mention is that with the Wilderness, you get a 411 rear axle ratio and a 3,000 pound max tow capacity. So let's say you have 2 jet skis, let's say you have a side-by-side, you can tow them as long as they weigh less than 3,000 pounds. And then also with that 411 rear axle ratio, it actually makes this quicker than other Forester models, quicker around town, but on the highway you are going to be at a higher RPM as compared to the Touring, for example, just because of that rear axle ratio. Let me know in the comments down below, do you think it is time for a refresh to the Forester model? Let me know again in the comments down below. Again, we do have one coming next year, but just let me know your thoughts. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 2.5 liter naturally aspirated boxer 4-cylinder that makes 182 horsepower and 176 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a Lineartronic continuously variable transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 8 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 25 miles per gallon in the city, 28 miles per gallon on the highway for 26 miles per gallon combined with all-wheel drive. Due to that 411 rear axle ratio, your fuel economy numbers do suffer a bit as compared to some of the other Forester models. So like the Forester Touring, for example, gets about 33 miles per gallon on the highway. This gets about 28 due to that rear axle ratio. However, you will notice that this will feel a little bit more peppy around town as compared to the Forester Touring. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. I put a lot of time and effort into making these videos, so if you've enjoyed the video, if you've learned anything from this video thus far, please just take a second, give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hit that subscribe button. The likes and comments in particular look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. So I'd appreciate it if you would do those 3 things. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned earlier in the video, you do get keyless access, so all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by running your finger across these 2 lines right here, and now the vehicle is locked. Now I want to walk you through a couple of the functions on the key fob. Starting from the top, you have your lock function. The Subaru logo is your unlock function. Then you have your power liftgate function, and then all the way at the bottom, you have your panic function. But now let's see what the interior of the Wilderness has to offer. So this is the only interior color combo that you can get with this trim level, and it is the gray Startex water repellent upholstery, and that is what it looks like. And with that in mind, we're going to start with the driver's side door panel. So all of this area right here is that Startex upholstery, and then you get this Subaru Wilderness little thing right here. You get some vinyl wrapping, then you get some of that hexagonal shaped plastic trim, a satin black door handle. Here are your power side view mirror controls. You have your unlock and your lock functions. Both of your front windows are automatic up and down. The rear windows are not automatic up or down. This button right here is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. Then Subaru pays attention with their door panels, so you have a great spot that you can set your phone. That's an iPhone 14 Pro Max, one of the bigger phones on the market, and you can see it fits right there. Then you get a nicely padded armrest. You get some of that copper accent colored stitching, a little bit of miscellaneous storage space, a spot you could set a water bottle, and like I mentioned, this vehicle's been optioned with option package 22, so you do get the 9-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, and that is what the speaker looks like here on your front door. The other front door obviously looks the same. The rear 2 door panels do not get the Harman Kardon badge. Now, This is what the front seat looks like. Again, you get that StarTex water repellent upholstery as standard with this trim level. You do get heated front seats, as well as a 10-way power driver seat with 2-way power lumbar. So those are your seat controls here for the driver. And then you also do get an adjustable headrest with the Subaru Wilderness embossed into both of your front headrests. And then one thing I really like about Subarus is that the headrest moves forwards and backwards, and you get quite a bit of adjustability in there. You're like 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of adjustability here with your headrest, so you can rest your head on that on a long road trip, and that is something that I really like about Subaru products. Now I'm going to close the door and fire this thing up, and we're going to take a listen. So that is what it sounds like when you fire this thing up here from the driver's perspective. And now I'm just gonna walk you throughout the entire interior. So coming over to here, this button is to pop open and or close your power liftgate. Again, that power liftgate does come a part of option package 22 for $1,850. And then this is to turn your steering responsive headlights off. So the steering responsive headlights, basically when you turn the steering wheel to the driver's side, the lights will actually move. And then same thing, vice versa. If you turn them this way, the lights are gonna move to that side. And this button right here is going to turn that system off. And then this is going to set your memory for the height of your power liftgate. So let's say you want it to be 3/4 of what it would normally be. You press that button and lock it into position. Then this scroll knob right here is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons. This is to turn your traction control system on or off. This is to turn your auto stop start system on or off. And then this is to turn your blind spot monitoring system on or off. Now, coming over to the right, if you flip that down, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, so you can bring the steering wheel towards you. You can push the steering wheel away from you, and you can also move it up and down until you find your comfortable position. Once comfortable position is found, you just lock it right back into place. Now, let's take a listen to our turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like, but not only is this your turn signal control stock, this is also your high beam control stock, your headlight control stock, and your fog light control stock. So this is for your headlight control. So right now that's headlights off, that's headlights automatic, that is parking lights on, and then all the way up is headlights in the always on position. And then this is fog lights off, this is fog lights on, but you can see we got some pretty, decent daylight out right now. So when I have the headlights in the automatic position, the headlights are not actually on, but I do have my fog lights in the on position, but the fog lights are not actually on until the automatic headlights turn on. Then once the automatic headlights turn on, the fog lights will turn on. But if you wanted the fog lights to be on right now, you'd have to put the headlights in the always on position, and then the fog lights will be on, and it lets you know right there that the fog lights are on. Let's say you want to put the parking lights on. With the parking lights on, the fog lights will not be on. So either in the always on position or in the automatic position when the headlights are actually on. Now, zooming back out, you do get a leather wrapped steering wheel with some copper accent colored stitching on the inside of the steering wheel. And like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to the horn. That is what the horn sounds like on the Forester Wilderness. Also with the Wilderness, you get the steering wheel mounted paddle shifter. So you get the upshift paddle on the right, you get the downshift paddle here on the left. And now I'm gonna walk you through the controls on the steering wheel. So pressing on that is going to go backwards on a track. Pressing on that is going to go forwards on a track, and that's also to switch between your different preset radio stations. Then these are your volume controls. That's volume up, that's volume down. This is gonna switch you between your different audio sources. So like you have your AM, your FM, your Sirius XM, your Bluetooth audio, your USB audio, so on and so forth. And then this info button right here is to control what you see over here on this upper screen. Apologize, you probably don't have the greatest view, but I'm clicking the button and it's changing what you see on the screen over there. I'll get into that here in a second, but this is to speak to the vehicle as well as pick up on a phone call. This is to hang up on a phone call. These controls down here are to control your 4.2-inch productivity screen located at the center of your dash. And then coming to this side of the steering wheel, you do have the Subaru EyeSight suite of features. So here are your adaptive cruise control settings or buttons, as well as your driver assistance buttons. And then also with the Wilderness, you do get SI drive, which is your sport and your intelligent drive modes. They actually call this like sharp. It's basically sport. So you can see this is your like sport mode. They call it sharp. And then this is your intelligent mode, which is basically like your normal mode. And then you have your windshield wiper control stock here for your front windshield wipers and your rear wiper. This on the end is for your rear wiper. And now let's move into our gauge cluster. So the Wilderness does get a specific gauge cluster. You can see you get the outline around the gauges in that copper color, and then you also get the Wilderness badge on the tachometer. So like I said, this is your tachometer. You get your speedometer on the right. Up top here on your productivity screen, you have your instant fuel economy stuff. So let's say we're coasting down a hill, getting good fuel economy. This is actually going to come over to this side. Plus means good fuel economy, minus means bad fuel economy. Then you have your digital speedometer readout. You got your trip A information stuff. You got your odometer. Then you have your fuel gauge down here. That is your transmission status stuff. That is letting us know that we are in the intelligent drive mode, and then that is letting us know that the auto stop start system is not active right now. Let's say you see where it says 24.7. If you wanted to reset that value back down to 0, you have this trip reset button that you'd press and hold, and then you can see those values will reset back down to 0. But if you wanted to navigate throughout this screen, again, you have these controls down here. So basically, I'm just going to click on this button. It's going to switch me into this screen. You can see this is for the auto stop start system. So let's say the vehicle turns off with the auto stop start system. It's going to count how long the vehicle has been off for and how much fuel it has saved with the auto stop start system. Clicking that button down one more time, you get your tire pressure stuff. They only work when the vehicle is moving. Then you press and hold on this, and that's going to bring you into your secondary menu. You can go in between your screen settings, your warning volume stuff, rear seat reminder, your eyesight stuff. I'm going to show you that. So this is a couple of your eyesight features. You get the lead vehicle acquisition sound. So when the vehicle ahead of you has moved at a stoplight, but you stay stationary because you're playing on your phone, it's going to go beep, and it's going to say vehicle ahead has moved on this screen. Then lead vehicle moving monitor function, cruise control, acceleration characteristics, lane centering stuff, so on and so forth. I'm just going to go back, and then press and hold on this button again, and it will bring you back into the other screen. Clicking back down on this button, it's going to bring me into this screen. You get some analytical data for your trip A stuff, and then you also have your fuel range, then some more analytical data in your fuel range, and then that's some more analytical data letting us know how long we've been driving for and how many miles, and then that brings you back into this screen. And then, like I mentioned, you get this upper screen over here. So this is what the screen looks like. You got your time, you have the ambient exterior temperature, you can see some pitch and roll stuff. Again, to control that part of the screen, you have this info button right here. So I'm going to click the info button now. Then you got your water temperature, oil temperature, and your average speed stuff. You got your weather stuff. You got the, what's that called? The compass. Then you have your Bluetooth stuff, Bluetooth audio stuff. Then you have some analytical data, like your instant fuel economy stuff there at the bottom. Then you have your fuel range, your average fuel economy. You got your date and the stuff like that. And then you can also click the info button, and then it will bring you into this secondary screen over here. You can see all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is it for that. I want to go back down into this screen. You can also see your eyesight stuff, reverse automatic braking, your forward collision warning stuff. You can see all of those different things. But coming down just a little bit more, this vehicle does come standard. Doesn't matter if you get option package 22 or not, with an 8-inch Starlink infotainment system. But with the $1,850 option package 22, you do get built-in navigation, and then you also get wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto connectivity. I would expect for the 2025 model year that Subaru will give wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto to the Forester. Again, you just got to wait a year for that. But anyways, this is what the screen looks like. You get your home button here on the screen, and then you have your Bluetooth phone battery stuff, letting us know that we are also connected to Bluetooth, how much signal my phone has, and then this is what the main screen looks like. You can see built-in navigation comes with the Forester option package 22. So that is what you get with option package 22. And then you can also go in between your different settings throughout here, all of these different things. You get your sound settings, you got your phone settings, you get your navigation stuff. Then you also have your vehicle settings. You can scroll throughout this screen here. That's your secondary screen. Then you also get this physical home button here. If I click on that, that brings you back into this screen. I don't want to spend too much time on the infotainment system. Just know that it is very, very easy to use, and that is why I don't feel like I need to spend too much time on it. Now, this is where the changes happen for the 2024 model year. So right here is where there used to be a CD player, but again, in 2024, there is no longer a CD player with the Forester. You can even see, like, with this like screen cover here, they have a spot for the CD player. So I guess they just had some leftover screen covers from the 2023 to the 2024 model year, and they figured they might just run with it. But physical home button, volume control knob, tuning control knob. If you press and hold on the tuning control knob, it will pop up your tuning settings. So you can see all of your tuning settings. You can go between all of this different stuff. You can go between your EQ and position sound, bass, mid, treble. You know, the basic stuff with the tuning. And then you also have a radio button. It's going to pop up your radio when you click on the radio button. Then you get your map button. It's going to pop up the map when you pop up the map button. And then you get your apps. It's going to pop up the apps. Here are a couple of the different apps. You get your Pandora stuff, your Apple CarPlay stuff, Android Auto stuff, Travel Link. So I believe this will show you weather stuff. You get your stocks, sports, and fuel prices. I could have sworn it also showed you traffic, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And then if you click media, that's going to pop me into my Bluetooth audio player. And then that's to go backwards on a track. That is to go forwards on a track for your Bluetooth audio system. And then coming down a little bit more, you get dual zone climate control with this vehicle. So here are your temperature control knobs. Then you have your fan speed control knob at the center. That's the rest of what that looks like. Then you get your hazard button. Coming down a little bit more, you get a 12-volt power outlet all the way to the right. You get 2 USB-A ports down in here and an auxiliary jack. You also get a little bit of miscellaneous storage space down in there if you wanted to set a key fob or something like that. This is what your shifter looks like. Again, you get some more of that copper accenting. You can see that copper accenting flows from the exterior on into the interior with this. You get a little bit of that, and then you get the copper accent colored stitching. You get this control knob here. But if you wanted to go into manual mode and control the transmission with these steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, you got to go into drive and then flip this over to the left. And now you can control the transmission with these steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Going back into park, you pull up on this. It's going to engage your emergency brake. So you do get an electronic emergency brake that will light up in red when it is engaged. If you wanted to disengage it, you'd have to push your foot down on the brake, push against that, and then that will disengage. This is your auto vehicle hold button. So basically, if you're tired of holding your foot down in traffic, if you press on that button, the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. This is your front 180-degree view camera button. Pop up your camera there on the upper screen. And then you have, again, heated front seats, both with 2 levels of adjustability, both high and low. Then with the Wilderness, you get the dual function X mode. Basically, this is for like the all-wheel drive system. It's basically going to send power better, like if you flip it into snow and dirt, it's basically going to, you know, do the torque vectoring, whatever it does, so you go through the snow and the dirt better. And then you also flip this to the right, that's going to put you into deep snow / mud. I'll put on screen exactly what this does. But then you push down on that, and then that's going to put you back into your normal mode. 2 cup holders right here. Get a little bit of storage space. You get a nicely padded armrest with some copper accent colored stitching. Opening this up, you get a 12-volt power outlet located down in there, but that's all the connectivity you get down in there. I'd say you probably get about, 7 inches of depth in this compartment. So just keep in mind of what you set down in there, because that space will, disappear quickly. Then coming over to here, this is what the dash looks like on the passenger side. Again, you get the copper accent colored stitching, you get a little bit of gray trim, you get a lockable glove box, which is nice to see. A lot of new vehicles do not have lockable glove boxes. Good amount of storage space in that glove box. You get 4 HVAC vents on the dash. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then up top here, like I mentioned earlier in the video, this vehicle has been optioned with the $695 exterior and interior auto dimming mirror package. So with that package, you get this auto dimming rear view mirror with the compass and the home link. The home link is the universal garage door opener. So if you own a house with 3 different garage bays, you can open up those 3 different garage bays individually with those buttons. And then up top here, you get your 2 LED lights. This lets you know if your passenger airbag is on or off. This will also let you know who is buckled and who is not buckled. And then this is to turn your lane centering system on or off. This is to turn your forward collision system on or off. As standard with the Forester, doesn't matter which Forester you get. I don't know if the base has this, but I know all the other trim levels do. You get this panoramic roof. So the shade itself is manual. However, you can slide this back. I do not believe that the sunroof tilts. I only believe that it slides. And then you got your SOS and your Subaru stuff. That's basically the roadside assistance. And then coming over to here, if you flip that to the left, when I open up the doors, now the interior lights will turn on. However, if I have this flipped to the right now, when I open up the doors, the interior lights will not turn on, and then you get a spot right here you could set your sunglasses. Moving over to the visor, you get this clip right here. You could set money, registration, or any small paper product. Opening up the visor itself, you get a vanity mirror and a vanity light. The visor itself does not slide. However, you get this little slide out right here, so when the sun is in those awkward positions, you can pull this slider out and block it out of your vision. Closing that back up. Here on the driver's side, you get an OPU panel. The front passenger side also gets an OPU panel, and the visor on that side looks the same. This headrest also does the same thing as the driver's side, and I'm pretty sure that's kind of about it for what we got going on here at the front. Now, I'm gonna go over a couple things that you get as standard with the Wilderness, and those things include the heated front seats, the dual function X mode with hill descent control. You also get SI drive, which like I mentioned, you get like your sport and your normal modes. Then you get adaptive cruise control with lane centering. You get the front 180-degree view camera. You get the pano roof. You get the 10-way power driver's seat with the 2-way power lumbar. You get the blind spot monitoring, and then you get the Subaru EyeSight suite of features, which I'll put on screen now. Now I'm just going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at the couple options that this vehicle has. You can take a look at everything that you get as standard, the fuel economy stuff, so on and so forth. But basically, I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Forester Wilderness is spec'd is $39,109. I think the prices have gone up a little bit from 2023 to 2024, just like everything else in the world. But before we get into the driving portion of the video, I want to show you what we got going on here in these rear seats. So let's take a look at the door panel here in the rear. This is what the door panel looks like back here. Again, you do not get automatic up or down windows here in the back, and that is as far as the rear windows will go down. And then just like the front, you basically get all that StarTex upholstery. You get this little Subaru Wilderness thing. You get a spot you could set a phone, a little bit of miscellaneous storage space, and a spot you could set a water bottle. You also get a speaker, like I mentioned. You do not get the Harman Kardon badging on the rear speakers. And then again, these are the rear seat back protectors. Folding this back up, like I said, you get you get fold flat second row seats. This is what the seats themselves look like. And now let's step into the second row and see what we got going on here in these seats. So up top here, you get an OPU panel and a spot you could set your dry cleaning. Coming down just a little bit, you get 3 seat back pockets. This is the major one, then the secondary one, and the third one. You get 2 HVAC vents. You also get 2 USB-A ports underneath here. Same 3 seat back pocket system on that side. Now, I am adjusted behind myself, and I am 5'9". I've got plenty of knee and leg room. Here's another view of the knee and leg room here in the second row. And then when it comes to the headroom, I've got probably an additional maybe what 2 to 3 inches of headroom above my head. Now, if I slouched, I could, you know, get a couple more. So if you slouch, I think if you're 6'3", I still think you'd be comfortable here in these rear seats. And then you also get a center fold down armrest with 2 cup holders, and the armrest is nicely padded. And then on this side, you get the OPU panel and a spot you can set your dry cleaning. And then you also get a dome light here for the rear passengers as well. And that dome light is LED. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the interior of the Forester Wilderness. So we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video, where I always start my videos here. We go over these speed bumps at 5 miles an hour, and then I rate these vehicles on a scale of 1 to 10. Nothing will ever be a 10 because perfection does not exist in this world. Did very well over the first one. I kind of bounced between 6 and 4 miles an hour. Again, about 5. Let's see if we can't get it on this round. So I'm gonna give this thing a 7.9 on a scale of 1 to 10. It did very well over those speed bumps. And one thing I also noticed, driving into that gravel lot, it did very well on the gravel. Definitely better than some of the other vehicles that I've driven through there. And that's because this does have the off-road tuned suspension. So it's kind of built to go on gravel, and it definitely shows because it does a very good job at going on the gravel. Now, here's a nice little acceleration for you. Just a mild. This thing is definitely peppier than some of the other Forester models that I've driven, and that is due to that 4:11 rear axle ratio. It actually does make a big difference from like the touring, for example, to this. It just makes it a lot zippier and peppier around town. But on the highway, again, you are going to be at a higher RPM. Now, here's about a 40% acceleration. Maybe like 35. I really don't feel like this is slow, and I have driven some other Forester models and they do feel slow. So that 411 rear axle ratio actually does make a big difference when it comes to driving this around town. Now again, when you're on the highway, I had never driven one of these, 80 miles an hour, so I'm not quite sure, what RPM you'd be at 80 miles an hour, but maybe an owner can tune in, in the comments down below, letting you know if you are I was going to go into that lane, but I thought anyways. If you are a prospective purchaser, a prospective buyer, maybe a owner can, tune in and let you know what this would be at about 80 miles an hour RPM wise. One thing I wanted to mention is that these seats are nice and comfortable. The only little worry I may have with these seats is let's say in the summertime, you're a sweater and stuff like that and you're sweating, or it's just hot and humid out. Are these seats going to make you sweat a little bit extra just because of the seating material? I don't know the answer to that. And again, another owner could, put their 2 cents in on that. But one thing I really like about Subaru products, and one thing that I don't quite understand why Subaru did away with on the new Impreza and the new Crosstrek, is that they did away with the adjustable headrests like these things on the new Crosstrek and the new Impreza, which makes no sense to me. Here's another little acceleration, just normal one. I'm telling you, that axle ratio makes a big difference when it comes to acceleration. The next video I'm actually going to do is going to be with a Forester Touring, so I'll be able to do a direct comparison. But anyways, yeah, I don't understand why Subaru did away with the adjustable headrests on the new Impreza and on the new Crosstrek. It doesn't make sense to me, because that actually really does add to the seat comfort, is the adjustable headrest. They make a huge difference. If you're driving around town, or if your commute's about an hour long, you can just rest your head on the adjustable headrest exactly where you want it to be, and it just makes the ride and drive that much more comfortable. So I don't know quite why they did that, got rid of that. But I think it is about time for a refresh with the Forester. Now, that being said, I do know a lot of Subaru Forester buyers that actually really do appreciate all of these physical controls, and I definitely appreciate all these physical controls as well. I love the physical climate controls, and I know that Subaru is definitely going to put that massive 11.6-inch screen in the 2025 Forester. So if you do not want that massive screen that you find in pretty much all new Subarus, like the Ascent, like the Impreza, the Crosstrek, the Outback, then you might want to look into getting a 2024 Forester, because again, I would assume for 2025 they're going to put that big screen in there, and that's going to take away from the physical climate controls. Now, take a listen to what this thing sounds like cruising over some bridge joints at about 50-ish miles an hour. Also listen to the wind and the road noise. I think for 2025, they could incorporate a little bit more sound deadening. It's not really loud in here, but it is a little bit noisy-ish, when cruising at about 55 miles an hour. So I would like to see a little bit more sound deadening, but it's not obnoxious, but it is a little bit noticeable to me. And then moving on from there, I do really wish that the Wilderness would incorporate a heated steering wheel. It does not have a heated steering wheel. It's not really that big of a deal, but if you live in a colder climate, it is nice to have and be spoiled a little bit by a heated steering wheel. But other than that, my gripes are out of the way. Things that I really like about the Wilderness include the peppiness with that 411 rear axle ratio. It makes a huge difference with how this thing drives. I also really appreciate all the physical controls here. And then here's another 70% acceleration. And then one thing that I really like about Subaru is their eyesight suite of features. You know, I love that this has adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring. It's got, you know, the forward collision warning. It's got the lane keep assist, and just a bunch of features that you don't really know you want until you have them. And Subaru incorporates the eyesight suite of features on pretty much all of their vehicles. I'm pretty sure it's all of their vehicles, but I'm saying pretty much all because I'm not 100% sure, but I am like 99% sure. One feature that I actually really like is the lead vehicle alert system. So let's say, you know, you're sitting behind this guy in traffic and the light turns green, but you stay in position. It lets you know on this screen, it says lead vehicle has moved or driven away or something like that, and it gives you an auditory beep. I think that is actually a very useful feature because at least where I live here in Northern Virginia, you know, people are always on their phones when they're driving, right? And they're always like, not always, but a lot of the time, you know, you're sitting on a light and the light's gone like 2-3 seconds green and the person ahead of you has not moved, and I know they're either on their phone or looking over there or something like that. But anyways, doesn't matter which way you're looking, if you're on your phone, it will let you know here that the vehicle ahead of you has moved. And that is just a feature that I really like. I know it's something small, but I think it's pretty cool. And that's something that I always like to point out when I do videos with Subarus, is because I do think that it is a pretty cool feature. I'm going to try to demonstrate the lead vehicle alert feature here at this stoplight. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this car in front of me go, and I'm just going to basically sit at the stoplight for a couple minutes, for a couple seconds. All right, lights turn green. See, vehicle ahead has moved. I like that feature a lot. And then I don't know if you also caught that on the screen right there, but it was also the vehicle auto stop start system had turned the vehicle off, and it was counting how long the vehicle had been off for, and then also how much fuel the vehicle had saved with the auto stop start system. I'm gonna try to play a little bit of music for you and now demonstrate the Harman Kardon sound system if I can, but I think this is gonna be bad words, but I'm gonna try.
Seem like every captain gotta maintain the cap. You can make change, don't change for that. Tell the whole truth, get paid for that. Bet you never fall off, you was made for that. You gotta be who you really be, shine from the inside.
Okay, so I basically had to stop the song right there because it starts going into, you know, songs that are going to make this video get demonetized. But the sound system is actually pretty dang good on this vehicle, and the Harman Kardon sound system makes a big difference. The standard Subaru sound systems are not that good. I'm going to just put that out there, but the Harman Kardon sound systems in Subaru products is a good sound system, or they are a good sound system. But that's kind of about it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from this video, please just take a second, give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hit that subscribe button. Again, the likes and comments in particular look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. So I'd appreciate it if you would do those 3 things. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.